her husband from Murray. And she went to work to get him through school. He got his bachelor's degree at Juilliard. And then he got his master's and doctor's degree in music at Eastman. And then he became head of the music department in
They had a life of music. They did. We served a mission in New York.
Did you really?
Elmira. We were was the director of the visitor center. We were there 2 years. And so we knew a lot of his wife, Gail.
Hello, Gail.
This is President Jensen and his wife, Drew.
From years back, our trails haven't crossed in 50. Let's see. Well, in your life and in mine, just yesterday.
That's my daughter.
Well,
oh, she's pretty nice, huh?
You've had a lot of work to do here.
I think it's just really wonderful. Then it's going to have a big thing around it.
Date on it.
Yes. Well, you guys didn't want your names on it, you know. So we decided that, he says, well, you've got to have something on there. So he says, I'll put that on. So we had to have it today because this is the only day we could have it.
Well, that looks nice, doesn't it?
Meet with your...
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Brother Dalton did this. He does good work.
Oh, does he? Does he have
He lasered from the DUP
Honey,
here.
let me have the key. I'm going to get
Yeah.
my jacket out.
Yeah, he did my husband's.
Well, we didn't know whether to dress up yet. But we thought that's it.
Just go on in here. Wow, I haven't been in here for a few years. Just when I was visiting them on the farm.
Hi there, Dorothy. How are you?
Wow, how nice.
Good.
Oh man, look at that. Let me get that. Wish I could zoom in on that. It's dress worn by Alice Stice 100 years ago. She's an early owner of this cabin located on the west side of Highland. Look at that dress. Grandma Stice's dress. Wow. Look at those little baby shoes.
Ooh, is this the original?
Whose baby shoes?
They were found in the excavation, so...
Oh, I think
Belong
they're
to one of you
mine.
girls.
I kind of remember those.
Look at
Well, they're
those.
not mates, but I says, oh, they're too special. We've got to
I
put them
think
in.
they were one of our little
Now, what the
girls.
rocking chair we got here?
That rocking chair came across the plains, and if you're going to take a picture of it, I take this off because I said that is not authentic, and it's really bothered me.
This is authentic now?
What?
Here, this is authentic now, what we're looking
Well, the
at.
chair isn't, but the cushion isn't probably, but
The
it's
chair
really kind of,
came across the plains,
yes,
huh?
that's what they told, oh, I forgot your picture.
Was that the original door there?
Yes.
On it?
Yes, that was the original
Well,
door.
this is not the tub we took the bath in.
Isn't it?
No, I think Dad had this for the horses to drink out. I don't know where he got it, but our tub was just round.
We got that down at the place.
Yeah, no, it was at our place.
Yep, she
It was
called and
at our
said, do you want
place.
this? And boy, we
And
did
that old
try.
boiler is what Mother heated. I'm not sure if that's the very one, but it could be. But anyway, she heated it.
It probably, that's
And
where
she
we
bottled-
got it.
And she bottled peaches in it. You know, she
I remember that old stove you had in there.
Yeah,
That was a
we could
beauty.
find that stove. I wonder what happened to that.
Now what's all this in here?
Probably does.
What's in the cabinet?
These on this shelf right here and this over here were found by the BYU when they excavated the ground. And so one of the things we had to do was display it, which we went through some of the stuff away, like the plastic pins over colors.
Safety pins found in the cabin site and buttons
Do you
and
remember going in this house?
Well, it was all.
what about these dresses?
These dresses are over 100 years old. They're one of our daughter's.
Do you remember this, then, Mom?
Was it her mother's or her grandmother's wedding dresses? They're dresses.
Oh my goodness.
And
What about these bowls now? Where did these come from?
I don't know. When Catherine Tram comes, she's going to have markers for all of them.
This was into the kitchen.
And what did they found here? They found some wallpaper from the closet and from the cabin.
It was here.
And oh, there's the barbed wire from the cabin.
Okay.
And the nails of the.
And then some seeds that were found.
Somewhere the sun is shining.
They told her that wasn't.
And a fork.
She says, well, what is? And they says, oh,
Wow.
it's homecoming saint. And so she wouldn't see it anymore.
What's that under there? Let's
You're going to
see.
tell me what she am not going to see.
She likes to sing. Give said the little stream to
Oh,
me.
that's
She
Some
likes
old
it.
Kerr Mason
Oh, look at,
jars.
is this
Look
a
at
bath?
those.
That's where that
So they had a closet right here.
Wow. Look at those.
This a dresser, a stove is here, behind the stove is a closet.
with the stove.
That was
Welcome.
great.
Hi, Mary, how are you?
Marilyn loaned me this coat. I got out of the
And she couldn't be a member because didn't have the, she was from Idaho.
Uh-huh.
But it's called the log
This is the
cabin.
back door. I mean,
And she made it and donated
That's a
it
log
to us.
cabin, what is it, log cabin pattern or
Log cabin quilt.
log cabin quilt? Okay.
Okay, the long
One
house
for
is
the,
right out
one for a log cabin, huh?
So where was the front facing the house?
over here. This was the front. This is facing the road.
Oh, facing the road, okay.
Okay, and then
So the new house is this,
The new house-
to the left, okay, so this
Ludwig
wall,
Larson's was this way.
that wall,
okay.
And then,
Oh, they've got the trail builder lessons and the blazers.
and that was towards Peck's. This window was towards
Our bed
Peck's.
was right over here.
Where was
By the
the,
whole window.
where was the kitchen part? Was that on
Over
the,
here. These were
okay,
next door.
the kitchen was through this door.
Marilyn's made a replica of the house.
Oh, now where is that?
Well,
Is that
she's
here?
got it, she's gonna
And
get
they
it
found,
It is,
Oh,
and it
I gotta
is
go
pretty,
get a new battery, this thing
it's
is,
pretty true to life, what she did.
and there's a place for the old stove. Through this door was the kitchen, little add-on here, that they didn't have. Yeah, I've been photographing. I've been getting a tour and I've been waiting to see your model of the
Oh, yeah,
house.
and Merlin brought it in. We'll bring it back out here though in a few minutes when
Okay.
I give my talk and I want to tell about it.
Okay.
Hi, Carolyn.
That is so amazing. That was a lot.
Even the rocking chair.
Wait till you see the kitchen.
This is a model of the house the way it was.
Carry the kitchen.
Does it go on the outside? Hooks onto that.
Oh, this is so great.
with the bottom.
I remember sleeping on a bed in here somewhere when I visited.
Gone after I.
Yes, I am.
Dawn, Gary Stice.
Hey Gary, how you doing?
Nice to see you.
I'm photographing this for history.
Fantastic. So you remember spending?
Yeah, we came and visit at the farm, and I remember sleeping in the kitchen on a little cot. So this is the add-on kitchen.
Isn't that cute? Over here you'll see.
The old stove.
Was it always that tidy and neat?
Isn't that neat?
How did that sink work on an outside wall without insulation? It didn't have running water, did it?
Yeah, it went not hot water.
It came up out of the well.
We haven't. No, for our backwater, we just got the cold water out.
Well, yes, that's what we got.
Well, this is the main cabin, and this is the front door. The front door was blocked by the piano.
And we put the tub down, and then us three girls, we all fell into the same water. And I'm being the youngest one.
There's one bed. There's the old stove.
Yeah, I guess.
All right. And look at the curtains even. You've even got curtains on the outside.
That is so cute what I've got, see. That would be so wonderful. I peeked over, and I'm not really tall, but
Can we bring that on the table, or do you have some moms? I've been hearing about hers.
well, she's got. I didn't know what she was getting on there, but we can either. You're like, we're gonna do. I'm gonna welcome. We're gonna do the invocation, the pledge, and then Peggy's gonna do a little history on getting the cabin, and then you're next.
Is that where the phone was? One time a folded
Hi.
Well, this is cute. That's cute fabric.
This lady made the cake, and here's the cake.
Maybe I'll just make one that's cute.
Isn't that neat? Oldest house in Highland, 1890.
There's only
I
two,
bet
so
Grandma
just kind of
Stice
one
made
for
that
family,
That
if
is
that's a
amazing.
possibility.
Hi, I'm Richard Hansen. I was the fellow that was in charge of the
I'm
archaeology
Kathleen
dig.
Hatch. I'm Michael.
Can I get a program? Thank you.
Oh, just the size. Try to get up there. Don't try to get up.
That's Phil Jensen and his wife. He knew my parents. He went on a mission to Denver and stayed at their place.
Check, 1, 2.
Proud of this little dog.
Ginger.
Ginger?
No. Yeah.
All
That's
right.
Ginger.
Whose dog is this?
It's mine. It's.
Yours? And
Check,
who are you?
1, 2.
But it
And
will
there we
be
go.
Grandma's. It will be Grandma's.
Who are you?
Melissa.
Melissa what?
Melissa Ann Smith.
Ann Smith. Are you related to somebody here?
Yeah. She's
Who?
related to me. She's related to me. She's related. I'm related to them. She's related to her. My grandpa.
Is he a C-strand?
No, he's a kitchen.
He's a Kitchen. Okay, so your grandma is Carolyn Kitchen,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
We're the people that grandmas used to live in. This will be my grandma used to live in that.
I am your grandma's cousin.
You are?
Yeah, I'm your grandma's
You look
cousin.
different from the last time.
Do I?
I don't
Okay.
even recognize you.
Looks like they're going to start.
I went with grandma to get her taken for the new job. I am starving.
Them sons and daughters. In the Daughters of Pioneers, that's what you are, as a daughter. And in the Sons of Pioneers, you're a son. So we want to welcome you here. We're so excited to have you here. All of you are special guests to us, and we're so thankful that you're here. If you've got a program, we're going to kind of follow it. First off, I need to excuse Ann James. She was supposed to give the opening prayer. She went to the hospital and had surgery. I said, Ann, you didn't need to do that. We could have just got someone else to say the prayer, but anyway, so we'll have the opening prayer, and then by Tracy Scott, and then the pledge by Betty Allen. Betty Allen's going to give the pledge, and then we'll turn the time over to Peggy Rasmussen. She's going to give us a little bit of the history. She was the captain when they found this cabin. So I'll turn the time over to you.
Well, I think it's an honor that they asked me to do this, to come back and do this, but it scares me to death. Bear with me. The Daughters of the Utah Pioneers was organized April 11th, 1901. They just had their 100th birthday last April, the 11th and the 12th, and it was very nice. I was privileged to be there for the 2 days that they had that. The men and women who sacrificed their all and turned their faces to the west to seek homes in the valleys of the mountains. Its object is to establish and preserve histories, collect relics, preserve landmarks, and all data that will aid in perfecting a record of their strong characters, pure lives, and their heroic deeds. May we become familiar with what the pioneers accomplished through their toil. We honor them for what they have done, we love them for what they are, and we thank them for what they have handed down to us. The Daughters of the Utah Pioneers is a great organization. It gives us an opportunity to honor our pioneer ancestors and to learn more about them, and also their trials that they endured, as well as some of the good times. The histories and the lessons that we have in our Daughters of the Utah Pioneers are really wonderful, and they've helped me to realize what little bit that I can of the trials and tribulations that they went through, so that we can enjoy what we have today, such as the gospel and the great privilege of living here in these valleys of the mountains, and with such great and wonderful people that you have here in Highland. It's truly wonderful. And we have the Daughters of the Utah Pioneers Museum in Salt Lake that has a lot of artifacts, and they have a great history department. If you take a pedigree chart up there, they can find histories and stories of your ancestors that they have on file. They have an awful lot of them, and it's a wonderful resource for histories of your family. They have stories that show how they lived and worked to survive, and what wonderful things we can learn from them. I'm a charter member of the Highland Daughters of the Utah Pioneers, the camp. Anita Fitzgerald got the first camp started in Highland. And as a young girl, I was very envious when my grandmother got ready to go to the Daughters of the Utah Pioneers, and I always wanted to be a member. So I was very happy to at last become a member of the Daughters of the Utah Pioneers. And the Highland camp will always be special to me. This cabin that you see here is the oldest cabin that had been lived in that we could find here in Highland that was still standing, and it was built in 1890. About 10 years ago, the day the Stices called me about the cabin, I got so excited, and I still get goosebumps just to think about it. They were excited about it too. It seems they were going to take down this old building, and I might get beat to death here. But it seemed that they were going to take down this old building that was sitting out there in the yard that had been there for years and years. And they started taking the boards off and discovered this cabin still intact, and it looked pretty good. There used to be a kitchen on the back side of the cabin, which had been built on sometime later, and they had taken this off first. So it wasn't until after they had taken that room off that they got to where they were taking the boards off of the cabin itself and found that it was in such good condition. Well, after they called me, I called Kathleen Hatch. She was my first vice captain at the time. And we went down to take a look at the cabin, and it looked pretty good to us. So we had to find out what we needed to do so that we could get it moved, as the Stices were going to sell their place. There was quite a bit involved in getting these things going. The city was great to work with us, and all the people that supported us in donations, bake sales at the Highland Fling and other places, the quilts that were made and we sold tickets on. I remember Donna Larson, how excited she was when she won the first quilt, and that first quilt was made by Oma Stevens. There were other things that we did to raise money so we could get it moved. There's a lot of work in raising money to do a project like this, and we really appreciate everyone that helped us with that. We were so excited to see it coming down this street. It was coming up the street this way the day it was moved, an experience that Catherine Schramm and I had shared. Then right after they had set it on the foundation, we were trying to put some nails in a place or two. And Catherine was really working at trying to get the nail to go in and having a hard time hitting it. And I said, "You have got to hit the nail on the head." Well, it turned out it wasn't only a minute or two later she could say the same thing about me. And I'm sure that the men that had moved the cabin, they were still here. I'm sure they were just around the corner having a very good laugh, because we were doing an awfully bad job of trying to get those nails in. And then there's all the hours that went into fixing things up, both on the outside and the inside too. First-hand experiences at removing chinking and putting chinking back. And I understand now that it has new chinking in it that will last a lot longer. And we want to thank all those that worked on the cabin. Glenn and Dorothy Strasberg did a lot of work on it before he passed away. And there were several others that worked on it also. And many young men got their Eagle projects done by doing work on and around the cabin. And the work will go on. There will always be upkeep and things to be done. I found this song in the Daughters of Utah Pioneers songbook that I thought, it just touched my heart thinking of the cabin and it kind of together. And the name of it is The Daughters of the Utah Pioneers. Let us turn our memories back, for along those dreary tracks to a band of pilgrims, filled with hope and prayers. They had left their homes, their all, to obey the Father's call. They surely built them better than they knew. Finding here the promised land midst these mountain vales so grand, they were honest, serving God who brought them through. Nice log houses did they build, with large families they were filled. Oh, they surely built them better than they knew. Ere united in their ways, they their flocks and herds did raise. They did card and spin and weave and make their clothes. With their faithful, honest toil, they did cultivate the soil, and they made the desert blossom as the rose. As their children when we meet in these vales so grand and sweet, we will prize their lives of service more than gold, and we'll love them more as we read their histories o'er, though the half of this great story's ne'er been told. Then all honor to their name, who have given us this fame, as we meet from day to day, let us lift our hearts and say, we are daughters of those grand old pioneers. I think, and I am sure you will agree, this cabin is a wonderful addition to the city and to the park here. And I'm very glad I was able to have a small part in all of this. Thank you. exciting time. Carolyn is going to give us a life sketch, and she has some really cute things to show you.
I'm just really happy to see you. Gotta stand by the mic. Do you know what? The sun's in my eyes. Oh, can I do that? It's
right in the
probably
mic.
all right. I just need to read my script.
Can I raise it up a little bit more?
Anyway,
Raise it up.
okay, just a little bit like that. Is that okay? There, that's better. That's great.
You got a tough lady in the mic.
Not like that?
You
I'm not too experienced at public speaking, as you might know. I have entitled my talk here, Life in the Highland Cabin. Home was a 2-room house on the west side of Highland for me. One room was a log cabin covered with wood, probably for looks, and maybe for insulation too. And that served as our living room, our bedroom combination. The other room was a kitchen, which was built on the north side of the cabin. It was adobe, but also was covered with wood, so it all looked like it was made of wood. It is estimated, as she mentioned before, that the cabin was built about 1890, but the kitchen may have been added later. We just don't know when it was added. My grandparents, Rufus Jesse Stice and Alice Spear Stice, bought the farm about 1912, when my grandfather was the railroad agent in Lehigh at the station there. They wanted a place where they could go to get away from the busy schedule of the train station. I understand there were 17 trains that came by during the day, and so they had 4 and 5 little children to keep off the railroad tracks. So can you imagine how a farm would look so nice to them to be able to get away? But unfortunately, they were transferred to Tooele after sometime after they bought this cabin and the farm, and so they rented it to other people during the time that they were out there. However, in 1915, 3 years after they bought it, Alice, the mother, decided to take the children and live in the cabin for the summer. And so their oldest boy, that was Boyd, my father, he was only 12 at the time, but he and the mother, his mother with the 4 other children, well, he drove the horse-drawn surrey. They said they had just gotten a new surrey, and so he drove the horse-drawn surrey from Tooele to Highland. Can you imagine that? I thought that was really something. And it was during this summer that they lived on Highland that Alice helped to organize the first primary that was in this area. Well, anyway, later when Boyd turned 16, he lived in the cabin and worked the farm with the help of his brothers. And then finally in 1926, he married Louise Stice, Louise Roundy at the time, she's sitting right there, who was my mother. And the 2-room cabin became their first home.